Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. In this video, we are talking about the second principle of project management, and this one is all about creating a collaborative team environment. If we go to the verbiage, then the second principle says create a collaborative project team environment. As simple as that. Now, we talked about the first project management principle. I'll share a link in the description below if you want to go over the playlist of all 12 principles. Check that playlist out. And if you're into reading articles, then check out the first link. That will be a related article on this topic. So, what I was saying is when we discussed principle number one, I mentioned that none of these project management principles are rocket science. These are all generic. These all are principles that project managers should anyways be aware of. And these are generic to the point that even managers who are not necessarily project managers should also take note and make sure that they follow these principles. All right, let's talk more about this principle. Now, the key word for this principle is definitely team because the focus is on the team. You see, end of the day, projects are delivered by project teams. They are not delivered by individuals, right? So that is why the focus on team is very, very important. Project teams are made up of individuals with diverse skills, knowledge, and experience. And this is required, right? Because a business analyst cannot code, the designer cannot test, the coder cannot design, and the tester cannot code, right? So they all need to work together, and that is why we need people with diverse skills, knowledge, and experience. Project teams work in collaboration to accomplish a shared objective, which is pretty obvious. And project teams do this more effectively and efficiently than individuals. So, if the entire project was supposed to be created by maybe just one individual and not a project team, then the project delivery wouldn't be effective and it wouldn't be efficient. I'd like to quickly talk about what effective means and what efficient means. Effective means producing error free code. No mistakes are made, right? Doing it right. Basically, producing the right results. That is what effective is all about. When we say efficient, what we mean is basically producing results without wasting resources, without wasting materials, time, or energy. So, obviously, you need both. You need to produce correct results and you need to produce those correct results without wasting resources. So, project teams are able to deliver projects both effectively and efficiently. A quick reminder here, if you like our work, consider contributing by using the thanks button on YouTube or heading over to pmclounge.com/contribute. All right, let's talk about the importance of environment. So, we mentioned, right, this principle is all about creating a collaborative project team environment. So, we talked about team. Team is very, very important, but even environment is important. So, let's understand what is the importance of environment. So, within the organizational and professional cultures and guidelines, project teams often establish their own local culture. So, this is very, very possible. You might be working in a project team that may have a slightly different overall culture against the overarching organizational culture, right? It won't move way too far from the organizational culture, but there could always be a local twist. Now, in my personal opinion, the environment is actually very, very important. You can hire a team, individuals with diverse set of skills and all that, but if you do not have the right environment, the team might not be able to deliver. And that is why creating this environment, creating a collaborative environment is the key. Now, as a project manager, it is your responsibility that the local culture helps foster the professional relationship within the team. You see, your project team members, they should feel open to discuss their mistakes. They should not feel inferior if they don't know something. And these are just a couple of examples of creating an environment which is transparent, creating an environment which is collaborative, right? So everyone in the team ideally should be open to support and be more collaborative. That is all about how a collaborative team environment looks like. All right, so factors of creating a collaborative project team environment. Number one is team agreements, set of behavioral parameters and working norms. These evolve over time as team works together and gets to know each other. That is what team agreement is all about. Now, these are essentially established by project team and these are upheld throughout the project with the commitment of individual team members. Now, team agreements need to be created at the beginning of the project, which is very, very important. And it could be as simple as, we will not have any project related meeting on Fridays, or we do not want text messages on personal mobile phones. No one in the project team should be doing that. So, these could be the kind of agreements that project teams can come up with during the beginning of the project, and these are carried out throughout the project. Although, as the last sentence says here, these can evolve over time as team members get to know each other and they work together. Second is organizational structures. So project teams, they tailor and they implement structures that help coordinate the individual efforts associated with the project. Now, there are obviously a lot of individual efforts that are associated with the project, right? Now, an authority figure, like let's say the director of PMO, they can come in and they can impose an organizational structure if needed. But when we say organizational structure, it could mean the definition of roles and responsibilities, formal committees formed to achieve certain tasks. For example, change control board, right? So change control board takes care of change management. So an authority figure can come in and mention that, hey, we will have a change control board for this project, and their responsibility will be to take care of change management. So when these structures are put in place, the idea is that ultimately the environment will become more collaborative because you know who to reach out to if there is a change, right? Finally, we have processes. So, processes are defined to enable completion of tasks and work assignments. As simple as it sounds. Now, an example here is, let's say, the decomposition process used to create the work breakdown structure. So, the team may decide upon the kind of decomposition process that they are going to use to create WBS throughout the project. Now, if you want to know more about WBS, you can check out one of the links in the description will be about work breakdown structures. But that is an example of a process. So I hope you're clear with the three factors that are required to create a collaborative project team environment. We have team agreements, we have org structures, and we have processes. Now, let's talk about improving team cultures. So the culture is in place. How do you improve it? Clarity on roles and responsibilities can significantly help to improve team cultures. Some points to consider here are: number one is authority. Authority should be conferred from one entity to another. It can be explicitly or it can be implicitly as well. Authority can include taking decisions on applying project resources or give approvals. I hope you remember the project charter here. What does the project charter do? One of the key aspects of the project charter is that it gives the authority to the project manager to spend resources on the project, right? So that is where authority comes into the picture. The second thing to consider here is accountability. Being answerable for an outcome is what accountability is all about. And accountability cannot be shared. And finally, we have responsibility. So, being obligated to do or fulfill something, that is responsibility. Responsibility can be shared. Now, just so we are clear on the difference between responsibility and accountability, responsibility refers to someone's duty to carry out a task to completion, right? while accountability generally refers to what happens after something has already happened. So, accountability is therefore concerned with the consequences of someone's actions rather than their initial duty to carry these actions out. So, it could be the responsibility of a person to carry out certain action or responsibility of a group of persons, right? It could be three or four people that are responsible to do something. Now, there could be only one person, the project manager perhaps, who is accountable for the consequences of the actions that these responsible people took. So that's the difference between responsibility and accountability. And these improve the team cultures, the authority, accountability, and responsibility. All right. So, in conclusion, diversity can help enrich the environment by bringing different perspectives. When you have diverse people, it is going to bring in different perspectives, which is always enriching. Your team may have employees, you may have vendors, you may have contractors, right? You may have third party folks, you may have folks that are working on a specific deliverable and will not be part of the entire project, but they are there just to basically deliver a deliverable of the project, right? So they are there for the short term. Integrating all of them and leveraging the differences that they have, if you can leverage that productively, that can do the trick in creating a collaborative team environment. Teams can also incorporate practice standards, processes that already exist in the company, or if there are any company ethical guidelines, the project teams can obviously incorporate all of these, right? Because they have a baseline to start with. End of the day, a collaborative project team environment encourages free exchange of ideas and information and knowledge that the different team members come with. It helps and encourages everyone to give their best. And that is why a collaborative environment is the key to deliver successful projects. You, as a project manager, need to ensure that the project team environment is as collaborative, as transparent as possible. So that's all that we had in this video. I hope you were able to understand this principle. All the helpful links are in description. Like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to check out our website, pmclounge.com. Bye bye.